best way to get geared in the Dark Zone, if you're a solo player, is to get a group. If you don't have very many friends, there's a couple ways you can do it. One is you can just join in solo and pick up people as you go. And the other is to do this. You go outside the Dark Zone, you go to matchmaking, you can hit auto match, and you just go down to Dark Zone and just hit auto match in there. That's what I did here, and that's what I've been doing lately. It's just jump in here and you'll make some friends. So just be careful not to shoot random people, because you get your whole team rogue. So that's the best way to get into a team. To get gear, there's a few different ways to go about it. You can either search for Division Tech, which is these places right here with the landmarks. You can go to contaminated areas to find little boxes. Usually you want to be rank 30, or have somebody that's a rank 30 to open the doors for you. Or the boxes for you, and they'll drop spawn weapons and items for you and gear. Another way is to go and do your challenging modes. I suggest that you don't do that right off the bat, because whenever I did it, it does go by your gear. So like if you're wearing like level 28 gear and you go into the level 30 challenging, it's going to be like you're fighting level 32s. So it's going to be really difficult to survive. I know for me, I went in with a few items of 28 gear, and shotgun guy came up and just destroyed me, and there was no way to really damage them. Now for builds, there's a few different ways you can do it. Me, at first I started with a even split. I went 20,000 skill points, and then went about 1,000 or 1,500 in my damage, and then I buffed up my stamina. But just last night I got a bunch of gear, so I swapped it and went over to the firearm side and dropped my skill power. Saw a lot of YouTubers doing that, so I decided to try it out. Are they following me? Okay. Well, if you were paying attention, just now we had some rogue agents, and they decided to jump into a different server. So, actually, I didn't decide to; it just happened. Scared me for a second. I heard somebody's voice. Thought they were in my party. Also, when you're in the dark zone, go down your stuff, because sometimes you accidentally pick up stuff you don't mean to. Like whenever you pick up sniper rifles, sometimes you'll pick up the scope, and it'll be like a gray, so it'll take up one of your slots. So just go in there and destroy it. You notice I left a epic or a purple. I call them epics because I'm from WoW, but the purples you can, or superior I think is what they're called in this. I leave one slot open in my inventory to pick up legendaries or yellows. I only pick up the epics to deconstruct once I'm out, because I've got the gear that I want. The only gear that's going to be better than what I have for me right now is going to be, unless I pick up something that's exactly like has everything I want on it, I'll just end up deconstructing it for the most part. But legendaries is what I'm really after. Sometimes I'll find a weapon or something like that that I just really want. Wait for him to reload. Also, if you notice, I'm seeing a lot of epics, and some of you might not be seeing this. What I've done is get the scavenging ability on. If you don't find items with it, I know for me, I didn't find any forever. So I still haven't found very many items with actual scavenger on it. I have to go reallocate the my stuff for that. If you don't know how to reallocate, I'll show you near the end of this video.
Alert. An agent is now leaving your team.
So if you end up watching the video later after the live stream, you can go to
You've
that.
got a bird inbound on your position.
What scavenging does for you is make your chance to spawn better items higher. So I have it at like 108% right now. Okay. Since I'm probably not going to find anything. Better. For any epics, I'm just gonna run straight over here. Don't really care what it is. Just fill in that spot.
Cargo extraction initiated.
I wouldn't suggest doing that, but since I don't really need items, I did it to run straight over there.
15 seconds. Confirmed. Cargo
And also, make sure that whenever you're extracting, that you you don't die while extracting, because sometimes if your team wipes, it'll drop all the items that were put on the extraction chopper. So just keep that in mind whenever you're extracting, that you make sure you do it safely and quickly. Another thing that'll help you out is grabbing the upgrades in your base. That you don't have to get all of the upgrades, although it is suggested that you get all of them. I would suggest getting all the ones in a tree that you want to use the
Agent, I am
ability with,
inbound on your position.
and then get the ones that give extra dark zone inventory.
Warning. You are now entering a contaminated area. Now leaving the contaminated area.
I think these guys might be done, or they might be running out to go to their stash, because they might get a legendary or something.
Attention.
That's what I'm
Exiting
thinking.
dark zone.
I can't tell, it glitched out. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna call this team the end. So, I will leave their group. That way I can go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about on the reallocation for gear. I'll even give you an inspection of my gear so you kind of get an idea of how to go about building your character. If you notice, I just have 2 more upgrades in my tech wing. So. So it's in the tech wing, the reallocation.
I heard Benitez say the LMB could not afford him.
I don't know what upgrade it is, but it's the recalibration station. You just go in, like, see how mine has the highlighted scavenging right there? I had swapped one of my items for that, like, I had it on that one, but I dropped it because the armor upgrade, that was pretty much it.
Alright, we'll start here and work our way north, block by block.
But you go right down here, and you'll
You'll
click on it. It'll tell you up in the right hand, right up there, the possible recalibrations, and it gives you a percentage on most of them, and some of them it'll say gear mod slot. So whenever you hold down X, it will start doing a roll, and then it'll pull up whatever possible recalibrations there are. It'll it'll randomize something in there, and then you just pick something to re-slot in there. So let's see if I can find something cheap. I don't really feel like spending. That's okay though. I'll spend something real quick. Do something I don't need. So if you watch here, I'm gonna roll, and everything that's up on that right hand side, see how it gave me these options? So I just click on one of them that I want, and some of them it will roll doubles for, like the armor and another armor. Of course, you wouldn't pick the 383 if you wanted, if you did that. If you don't like any of it, you can just press circle and get rid of this. Or you can't, never mind. So I'd probably go with health on kill. And I can keep re-rolling these attributes and get exactly what I want. But to show you my gear, I did get really lucky in some of my items. This item started out at like 6,000 damage for me whenever I had like 2,500 in my electronics, and then whenever I swapped it over, it went from 6,000 like 100 all the way up to 8,900 what it is now, which I got it to last night. One of my buddies I played with last night helped me out on that. All you do is whenever you go in, you're looking at the added bonus of having the firearms on your armor, or on your whatever you want to call it. Yeah, your armor. Usually I look for stuff that gives me mod slots, because I can get extra ammo. I usually put as like scavenging on here. Let's see here, and I already have 16% scavenging. And if you just want to see how much scavenging you have, you just go to your character. You can press left on the D-pad, or you can just go down all the way. But I press left, and then just go down and find scavenging. Oh, now I have it at 127%. So it just it goes by what's on you, what you're wearing. So if you're wearing a bunch of purples, it's going to drop better purples for you, generally. Sometimes you'll get a legendary here and there. Like earlier, I got a legendary magazine before I started filming. See, there's the legendary magazine. Don't really need it. I just picked it up because it was legendary, so. Usually I'll go through, give it a glance over. Okay, so that one's not even close to as good as mine right now, which is 36,000. And I'll go through, and what I'm looking for is to up my firearm damage, because I want mine to be about 2,500 in the firearms. But I'm not going to sacrifice my health for that, so that's the big key there. I'm not going to sacrifice my health, and I definitely don't want to sacrifice my mod slots. So if I just happen to get extra in the firearm, then that's what I'll do. Once I get to the point where where legendaries are dropping more often for me, then I can start doing that better. But that's not going to happen for a while, because most of the legendaries that are dropping for me.
Candle's real happy
Actually,
since she
that
came
might
back
be
from Abel's.
Nope.
We don't get those wiretaps in place without you. God knows we need the intel they're giving us.
Actually, that might be. Because I need to get my. I don't want to drop 500 in my stamina though. See, that's the bad thing. This gear, it's not really dropping what I need. And it won't let me. It only lets you re-roll certain things. So you kind of, after you've re-rolled a few times, you kind of realize like what they will re-roll, or what will re-roll into. Like if it says like 6% into small cover, or I forget what it's called now. Let me see here. Smart cover duration. So if it has like an ability on it, then it's going to re-roll into another ability. Or if it's a pistol, it's going to re-roll into a pistol. If it's just like a minor attribute, it's going to re-roll into other minor attributes. But if it's something like armor, health, what else is there? Scavenging, increased kill experience, disorient resistance, pretty much the minor attributes, they will re-roll into the scavenging for you. So just keep that in mind. If you're trying to get scavenging, that's the best way to do it, is just keep an eye on that stuff. Me, I want a lot of scavenging because I want those legendaries, because it will let you build the items you're going to want to build later
Made another play at Abel's since you
at your crafting station. Because like finding the stuff is significantly better than making it, because to use your stuff to make it is pretty expensive. So my recommendation to anyone that's getting ready, that buys their first blueprint, is going to be the extended magazine. It ups any weapon that has the magazine clip, and if you look at mine, they're going to be on both these guns because I made two for my stuff. So I have 90% and a 97%. And one has critical hit damage, and the other one is rate of fire. Preferably, I would have liked to have had more percentage in the magazine. But I mean, beggars can't be choosers. So I would suggest that would be the first thing you buy, as far as items go, unless you just need, like, if you have a level 26 knee pads or something like that, and you just really can't find knee pads anywhere, I would suggest buying the blueprints for that. I would not suggest buying, like this, one of these with your Phoenix coins. I would suggest buying the blueprint for whatever you want. If you're a solo player, I would suggest getting your firearms up and not your electronics. If you've got a group of friends that you play with regularly, and you have a group of 4 that you get on with all the time, then you can go with the electronics. If you want to be, like, if you want to heal a lot, or if you want to use your items, your skills more often. Like me, I like to heal, and I was going in my groups, I was using the first aid and the support station, and they would heal like freaking monsters. Like, I would be healing more than what the enemies could deal damage. So, if that gives kind of a perspective on that. So they just couldn't keep up, like the enemies could not keep up with the amount of healing I could put out. So that was really nice. But I wanted to try something different, get some more damage output. So I decided to go the route of one of the YouTubers that I've been watching. I went his route and swapped my skill power over to the primary DPS. So, or my firearms. So, I would also suggest not getting shotgun or marksman rifle unless you're just really good with them. If you're really good with them, then go for it. If you're not, like I said, I would suggest going SMG, and probably I go assault rifle myself. In fact, if you look at my stuff, I have an SMG, I have an LMG, I have a sniper, a shotgun, and an assault rifle. So I have one of each in my inventory, so if I ever need to swap or something, I swap over, and I have them pretty well geared. Except for the shotgun. I haven't really cared about the shotgun. I just try it out from time to time, because it has its uses and it doesn't at the same time. It's not really the most reliable weapon, and you'll see that a lot with other players, and some people disagree with that. Me personally, I don't use the shotgun very often because you have to get really close with it, and like I said, I was using the skill power, so my shotgun damage was not high enough to one-shot or even get close to damaging enemies to drop them. So I went with the assault rifle and the SMG, SMG being the primary, of course, and I only use the assault rifle for really long range shots, and I just shoot one shot at a time and take my time with the shots. So if you're patient enough, you can use it that way. Otherwise, I would suggest probably secondary, going with the sniper for a longer range shot. But for the most part, SMGs are probably the best weapons in the game right now, and arguably the one I'm using right now is the best. So, it has the highest mag, it has one of the highest RPMs, and then the damage is just usually it's one of the higher in the damage. Like if you look at the Midas, it's only 8246, where this is at 8900. Of course I have items on it, but even whenever I drop it, it doesn't go down very far. It goes like 86 something. But I hope that answered your questions. Hope I could help out a little bit. Like I said, go for your dark zone inventory if you're going to be hunting down gear in the dark zone. If you're going to be hunting down gear out here, like I said, you want to get scavenging up, because no matter where you're at, the scavenging works, because everything in this game scales up to you. No matter if you are a level 20 and a level 2 to 4 area, all the stuff that's going to spawn there are going to be lower than what they normally be, but they're going to be like near your level. They're not going to be level 2 and 4 stuff. It's going to be around your level, but it'll be easier to kill. So if you have your scavenging up and you're running around, you'll end up getting gear a lot easier. If you are at a point where I'm at now, like where your missions don't give you any more credits, the best way to get the credits now is to go do the encounters. They don't take very long, and you do 10 of them, you'll have 600 supplies, and you can go in and get the last 2 things that you couldn't afford. Because for me, I didn't do any of the tech wing stuff, so I'm just like at that 80%. I'll probably end up later on today going and doing the last, like, I don't know, 5 encounters and just hunt them down. Usually I'll jump to a safe house like this one. See, I have 2 encounters right here that back to back. I can just run straight to them. Run over here and do these 2. They're pretty close. And then I'll jump right. Like I said, I just look for the ones that are really close by. So I'll go right over here and do this one. If I still don't have enough, then I'll jump over here and do this. But I think I'll be good with just 5. But that's the way I do it. There might be a better way. If there is, you're welcome to leave a comment down below. I hope I helped at least a little bit for you new guys, or new level 30s. For me, like I said, don't do the challenging, and you might not want to do the dark zone, because rogue agents are in there a lot, and a lot of those rogue agents are like rank 100 or more. At least in my case, I ran into several groups my first time through whenever I was like rank 15, and I ran into a group of like 8 people, and all 8 of them were above 100, and they destroyed me. So, not that rank makes a huge difference, but it shows like how much they play, and their gear is going to be really up there because they've been playing so much that they probably made enough Phoenix coins to buy most all of their legendary or yellow items or blueprints, and they're able to build those blueprints, and now they have like the best gear in the game. So they're like level 31 elites coming at you, and you're like a level 29 or 28 if you're lucky when you hit 30. So like I said, just go do these easy missions like the Queen's Tunnel and set it on hard, and just do that, and you get legendary, or you get epic equipment. I would suggest doing the easier of these. Make sure whenever you look that you don't set it on legendary or challenging, I call it, because that will destroy you if you're just starting out. Also, doing your dailies, the ones that are dailies will be marked by these arrows that spin out around it. Like that's the one I haven't done. There's one right here, and it tells you this one's a challenging, and there should be one more. Usually there's 3. I might have done the other one earlier this morning.
How do I say this quickly?
But this one's a hard. It tells you
of the U.S. government.
down below. Like I said, when you do it, you get the daily mission reward, which is Phoenix credits. You use those Phoenix credits right
I had no idea he was in New York.
at this guy.
Is he useful to us,
Special gear
Doctor?
vendor.
He's good.
You go down
He's not me good, but he knew
and you
Amherst,
pick your
knows
blueprint.
his work.
Or
His
if you're in
mind
the
is
dark zone, there's other places.
Singular in its focus. He'll have insight I'm not attuned to.
Other places you can go and get your stuff. In the dark zone, there will be at these safe houses right here, or the safe rooms.
Observing the southern.
They will have blueprints in those, and depending on which area, it will depend on what blueprint. So if you're looking for like the AK-74 or the AK-47M, whatever you're looking for, ACR, Legendary, they're gonna be at a specific safe room. Those will never change as far as where they're sold. So you'll have to get on and figure out where they're at. So if you're looking for a specific weapon you want to use, that would be my suggestion. Would be to go online, look up where to find that specific item, and then go hunt it down. So it just takes a little bit of playtime. If it is like further up in the dark zone, like I said, the dark zone is bracketed in specific levels. So if you're like rank 26, you're not going to want to go up to the higher dark zones. So make sure you, like, if you're like rank 26, stay down here, further down here to get those points, and use those points to buy your gear once you hit 30. But as you go up in the dark zone, you notice above the DZ player bracket, the level is 31. Now, if you've noticed, the game stops you at level 30. Okay, what 31 is, it goes by the same thing that Destiny went with, was the gear levels you up. So if you look at your gear, like my gun here, if I go to the bottom here, it says level requirement is a 30, but the item level is a 31. So if all my gear items are at 31, like that one's at 30, that one's at 31, this one's at 31 that I'm wearing. So that, if that tells you anything right there, that if you get your gear item up to 31, then you're technically a level 31. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Now you can't get to 32 yet. That'll probably happen in the next. Oh, they don't have it here anymore. Oh yeah, they do. The last stronghold. So just keep that in mind whenever you're going through and you're playing. That you're washing out which area you go into. So okay, that's been it for today. I hope you guys liked it.